Funding for this program is provided in part by Bruce Foods Corporation, makers of the complete line of Cajun King seafood seasoning mixes and other distinctive Louisiana-style food products. Additional funding is provided by the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. Anytime, any place. In Louisiana, we're really cooking.
Louisiana. Hi, I'm Chef John Folse, welcoming you to the bayous of South Louisiana. Today, Cajun and Creole cooking holds a prime spot in the world of international cuisine, and I would love for you to know a little bit about it. So why not sit back, relax, and join me and some of my friends as we cook up another great Taste of Louisiana. Hello again and welcome to A Taste of Louisiana. I'm Chef John Folse, and today we're cooking chicken, poultry, just all kind of great chicken dishes of Louisiana. You know, it's amazing when you think that in this state alone, over $400 million is brought into our economy just by selling chickens. In the United States, we produce over 21 million pounds of chicken a year. That's just in this country. That says that a lot of people are eating chicken. And you know, I was walking through a grocery store just a couple days ago, and walking into the poultry section and looking down into the counters, you see things like boneless breast of chicken. You see things like these beautiful baking hens, about 5 or 6 pounds. And look at this gorgeous capon. This used to be a rooster, but boy, is it good tasting today. Here is a little spring chicken that I found, and these things are just beautiful little roasters, but of course, great for chicken stew and all those wonderful things we do in Louisiana. Quail, available all over the place, and my favorite, Cornish hen. Any type of chicken or poultry item you can imagine is available in every store in the United States, and I guess that's why we have so much of it on every kitchen table in this country. But let's talk about other countries, too. As I travel around the world bringing Louisiana cooking to many, many different continents, I find that one thing is for sure. It doesn't matter if I don't have crawfish or crab, shrimp, oysters, the things that I'm used to cooking in Louisiana, I can bet I'll always find chicken. When I was in the Soviet Union a couple years ago and opened the first American restaurant there, chicken was a major part of their diet. Just think of chicken Kiev, one of the most famous chicken dishes of the world. In Italy, we were doing a dinner not so long ago for the Vatican. Chicken cacciatore, one of the most famous of all chicken dishes of the world. But one thing that I love about chicken, I found in Peking in the Orient, I found a dish called beggar's chicken. And I guess it goes back about 2,000 years, the tradition of beggar's chicken, where supposedly a beggar confiscated a chicken from a wealthy landowner one day, and not wanting to get caught, he wrapped the chicken up in lotus leaves, put a mud oven all the way around it, and shoved it into the coals of a fire. And about an hour or two later, after he felt he was safe, he pulled this little block of dirt out of the coals and broke it open with a piece of stone, and inside was a magnificent piece of baked chicken, unlike anything that had ever appeared on a table in the Orient before. And I've eaten beggar's chicken, as it's been called, in China and Japan and Hong Kong many, many times, and I absolutely love it. But here in Louisiana, no Sunday table would be complete without French roasted chicken. And I guess that makes sense, since we come from France, us Cajuns, many years ago, and I'm sure we brought the art of roasting French chickens here to the bayous in 1750 when we arrived. So what I want to do for you this morning is a dish that's kind of French roasted chicken, but at the same time, heavy Italian influence. I discovered this dish in the French markets of New Orleans many years ago, when after going into the markets to look at some of this great produce, I could smell this great aroma of roasted garlic permeating all through the French market, and I found a 55-gallon metal drum that had been converted into an oven by the Italians who were selling produce in the back of the market. And they had taken some of these nice baking hens, stuffed them with heads of garlic, a lot of garlic, and put it over pecan wood fires in this metal drum and created a chicken dish that I've found and loved ever since. So I want to show you a little bit about the French roasting as well as a little bit about the garlic roasted Italian chicken. We're going to start with, as you can see here, about a 5 or 6 pound roaster. Now this is a big baking hen. Obviously it almost looks like a small turkey. Could probably fit in about 9 pounds. And what I'm doing is I take my fingers and I run right under the skin of the chicken. I'm separating the skin from the breast meat on each side. It's very easy to do. You just have to work your fingers right through the chicken like that, and it separates nicely. And I'm going to take some fresh sassafras leaves. Now, this is the leaves of the filet tree, or sassafras tree in Louisiana. You know, we put filet on top of gumbo, but we also use it as a spice. So I'm going to take the fresh sassafras leaves, and I'm going to put them right under the breast. And the reason I'm doing this is because once the chicken cooks or bakes in the oven, you're going to have just a beautiful look of these leaves coming right out from under the chicken, and it's going to make a beautiful plate presentation or table presentation, as you'll see in a minute. So I'll put 2 on each side of the fresh sassafras. Of course, you can use sage leaves, you can use mint leaves, you can use a multitude of different leaves to gain the same effect. But I'm going to put the sassafras leaves of South Louisiana's Bayou country. Now this, of course, is garlic chicken. So I'm going to take a little bit chopped garlic, about this much. You can see about how much that is. And I'm going to put this right under the breast of the chicken because I do want a lot of garlic flavor. And I know what you're saying. Oh, gee, that's going to be so much garlic, I'll never eat it. But that's not a fact. The fact is that as garlic cooks, the flavor of the garlic actually just disappears. So the more garlic taste you want, the more garlic you should put into the dish. Now I'm going to put it into the roasting pan, and I'll bring the pan right here. You see I have 2 of them in here because now we have to season. I'm going to season it with a little bit salt, and I'm going to over-season the center of the cavity because it's important to remember that this will not get all of the flavor out into the meat of the chicken, only from the inside. A little cracked black pepper, I should say a lot of cracked black pepper. Of course, more garlic into the center cavity. And then I'm going to put some of these large heads of elephant toe garlic. Look at these beautiful elephant toe garlic heads. These heads are about 3 or 4 times the size of a normal garlic head. And we're growing a lot of elephant toe garlic. It's not quite as strong as other garlics in Louisiana, but I tell you what, it's wonderful in flavor. So we're going to put 2 whole cloves of elephant toe garlic down into the center of the chicken. And then I'm going to take all these little strong cloves that's already peeled, and I'm going to sprinkle them all around the outside of the chicken. Again, we want to season the outside. So I'll put salt. Notice I'm not measuring anything here because we have a tendency to just kind of put it on as much as we like, and I encourage you to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little touch of basilico, a little basil, and a little thyme right on top of the baking hens. And then for color, a touch of paprika, because we want the breast and legs to really come out a nice even color, and that'll help. And then carrots. We want to put carrots all around the outside. The nice carrots will give a caramelized flavor or a nice sweet sugar flavor to the sauce in the bottom of the pan after they're roasted. Some 4-inch lengths of celery. We'll go right down into it at that point. And then, of course, onions. A lot of nice peeled onions will just help with the flavor of the dish. Now, I put the sassafras leaves under the breast, so I'm going to put a little ground filet powder right on top of the chicken. Now, filet is the ground dried leaves of the sassafras tree, and it's got almost a thyme taste. So substitute thyme if you can't find it, but I think you can find it anywhere in the country. Now I'll put a little touch of chicken stock. Oh, I'll just pour that all around here, and that'll help with the cooking. I'll put a touch of margarine or butter, whatever you want to use. I'm using a light butter-flavored margarine here. And then I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to take some of these beautiful cloves of garlic, and I'm going to put them down inside of aluminum foil, and I'm going to cover them up like this and put it down inside the roasting pan, because those beautiful heads of garlic will actually begin to roast inside of the foil, and it'll make a beautiful vegetable right next to the roasted chicken. Now what I'll do is bake this in the oven, 375 to 400 degrees for about 2 hours. Of course, it'll be covered. I'll remove the cover of the Dutch oven and allow it to brown for about 15 minutes, which will give it a nice, even look. I have 2 of the hens in the oven right now, and I'll show them to you in just a minute, but I wanted to give you the general idea of what the dish should look like before going into the oven. Look how nice that is. This is garlic chicken from the French markets of New Orleans. So I'll put this out of the way, get it out of our way for a minute. And the next thing that I'm going to do for you quickly is I want to show you what the Italians or the Cajuns and Creoles of New Orleans would have accompanied this dish with. We've obviously got a lot of chicken livers and a lot of gizzards that would come from the harvesting of these chickens. So what I've done is taken chicken livers, and I've got them nice and fresh here, and I've chopped them real fine because I wanted to get the chicken livers chopped up to make a nice dressing in my skillet. Then I've taken chicken gizzards. Now, you know how tough chicken gizzards can be, so what we've done is boil about a dozen or so of the chicken gizzards in chicken stock for about 2 hours until they became very tender. And then we took our little paring knife and cut all of the excess meat away from some of this sinew and membrane to get just the tender gizzard meat, which has a terrific flavor. The giblet meat has a terrific flavor. So we take the chicken livers and chicken gizzards that have been tenderized in chicken stock, and we put it into a black iron skillet. And that's what I've done here. While you were out this morning shopping, I was cooking. And you can see this is all chicken livers and gizzards into the black iron skillet of the Cajuns. And I began it with just a touch of butter. I put a little butter into the bottom. The chopped fresh chicken livers went into the saute pan. And once they cooked for about 5 or 10 minutes, as you can see I'm stirring around here nicely, I added the tenderized chicken giblets or gizzards into the pan. And then onions, celery, bell pepper, garlic, green onions, all those nice things, but I have to finish it. So I'll finish it with the beautiful color that we always like to put in our pots here in Bayou Country. I'm going to start with a touch of, obviously, chopped green onions or scallions. I'm going to put some of these pretty red bell pepper, a lot of red bell pepper. Look how nice the colors come together in this saute pan. That's the important thing about cooking in Louisiana. I'm going to even take one of these nice these pretty orange banana peppers that just grow all over the bayous this time of year, and I'll chop up a couple of them here. You can imagine how pretty this will be right into the saute pan, all this pretty color, because this will be a stuffing or a dressing to go under those pretty roasted baking hens when they come out of that Dutch oven in just a minute. So there. Now, I took the liquid that I poached the chicken gizzards in, and I keep it handy, just like the chicken stock, so I can continue to keep the dressing very moist. You can see how when I put it in, it just really starts to sizzle. Got a color in that dish. What is the name of this dish? In Louisiana, we call it dirty rice. Why dirty rice? Well, that's not a very nice name. But dirty rice is because all of these natural juices of the chicken livers and gizzards, when mixed with the cooked rice, gives it just this great dark look. And most of the kids of early Louisiana would think basically that the rice had a dirty look or a brown color to it. So once this is sauteed and hot, just as you see it here, I'm going to season it lightly. Again, cracked black pepper. I'm always using cracked black pepper instead of cayenne or instead of white pepper because it's not quite as hot. I'm going to put a touch of Louisiana hot sauce just down into the pan. Saute that around for a second. And then I'll get this big bowl of cooked rice because we're making dirty rice. Let me see if I can get it here. Look how pretty that old bowl is. And I've got an old antique butter paddle from the early days of Louisiana. And I'm going to put this very moist, well-seasoned rice stuffing right down into the rice, as you see there. And then I'll take the butter paddle, this good old butter paddle, and mix the dirty rice or the dressing right into the cooked rice to create the looks, as the kids said, of dirty rice. Look how nice all of these colors are coming together here. I'll continue to saute, continue to mix this sauteed meat right into the bowl. And then I'll take one of these big mixing bowls over here. I mean, one of these good platters. Pretty this is. And the rice will go right onto the platter. How nice this is. Can you see this? Just really, really nice. And I'll continue to just put it right on, because that's the bed that the baking hens will go into. Imagine how pretty this is on a Thanksgiving table or on a holiday table, whether it's in Louisiana or any other part of the country. Move this right there. And then into the oven. We'll go into the oven to get those roasted chickens out. Oh, I tell you, wait till you see this. Let me cut this fire off here. The chickens ought to be completely roasted and golden brown. Oh, boy. And I want you to look at those sassafras leaves right under that chicken. Look how nice that is. You can see the beautiful color of the sassafras leaves right under the breast. What a beautiful presentation. And look at the garlic. The garlic has been roasted, and I'm going to put 4 little pods of the roasted garlic right down alongside the chicken. See how nice that is? And I'll put another one there. Okay. And these will not be strong at all. In fact, these will be very, very light and nice. And then I'll come and color the chicken with a little purple cabbage, because we want those pretty colors on our center of the table dish. Of course, some carrots or cabbage and a little parsley, fresh chopped parsley. Look how nice that is. And, of course, then a fresh sprig of the sassafras leaves. Of course, you can use, as I say, fresh parsley, or you can use anything. The important thing is that you have to have the nice color. Look how beautiful that center of the plate dish will look, and I'll move that right over here. Boy, is that heavy. Okay, quickly I want to tell you about another dish that we do using breast of chicken in Louisiana, and we call this dish breast of chicken mamou. And we take the breast of chicken, pound it out lightly, and we make a real, real nice crab meat stuffing. And the stuffing is sauteed with onions, celery, bell pepper, garlic. And it's all cooked nicely and put into the center of the chicken breast. And, of course, you can use any stuffing you want. You can use wild rice stuffing. I use a lot of wild Louisiana mushrooms in my stuffing, just as these oyster mushrooms that grow wild all over the bayous. And, of course, I add a lot of color into the dish. And then we would make the stuffing and roll the chicken up around the stuffing and bake it or deep fry it or put it on the outside grill. Just use the boneless breast of chicken in any manner to stuff and serve as a center of the plate item at home. It's wonderful. I have some already done, which I want to show you. How pretty these are. They were stuffed with crab meat stuffing. You can see how nice that is. And I'm going to go ahead and cut one of these open right here. You see how pretty they are? Once they're cut open, you can see the stuffing right on the inside. They make a really nice presentation. Look how beautiful that is. The fact is, I'll put them on a plate here. Okay, I'll put them around the outside of the plate. See how nice that is? And any type of stuffing that you would want to make at home would just be great here. You don't have to have the stuffings of Louisiana. Just any type of wild rice stuffing or anything else is great. Again, we color it. I like a lot of colors on the plate, so we'll put some colors here. And you can even serve it on a bed of rice, just like this. So can you get a good shot of that? I know you can. Look how pretty that is on a nice light luncheon table. So I'll move that right here. Okay, I've got a great friend that's going to come and visit with us right now, and Ron Zappe is a guy from Gramercy, Louisiana. Hey,
John, how are you?
How
Good
you
to see
doing,
you
Ron?
again.
I have to tell you about Ron quickly. Ron is a guy who came into the bayous of Louisiana to open a potato chip factory. Is that amazing? Or why not crawfish etouffee, crawfish bisque? Why potato chips in the bayous?
John, first of all, we just love the area. My wife and I are from this part of the country, and if you got 39 cents, we can do business together. I was in the oilfield equipment business, and it took a lot of rides off in helicopters offshore and such, and we really like the idea of not having any warranty work for the potato chip business.
Well, I was in your plant not too long ago, and mountains and mountains of potatoes. How many pounds of potatoes you put through that place in a day?
Oh, John, we probably do 60, 70,000 pounds of potatoes in one good day, yes.
Well, you know, when I was in the Army, if we did anything bad, they'd put us on KP duty and we were sitting peeling potatoes. Is that what happens in your place to peel?
All day long, this is what happens to you when you peel a lot of potatoes.
One question. I know your potato chips are loved in the bayous of South Louisiana, but what is the furthest, to your knowledge, that a bag of your chips has traveled out of these swamplands?
Well, let's see. We sent potato chips to the North Pole one time. We sent potato chips to the Vatican. Well, you cooked one time for the Pope, as we all well know. So I imagine the Pope propping his feet up after his long day of being a pope all day long, and watching television and perhaps eating a bag of our potato chips. So we sent some to the Vatican.
Well, great.
So we followed you there. Yes.
We have something in common.
Yes.
Then we both got Cajun cooking to the Vatican. That's fantastic.
That's correct,
well,
yes.
let me tell you, I have a dish in my restaurant that I use using potato chips, and I want to show it to you. In fact, here's what I'll do. I'm using leftover chicken breast from a chicken French fry that we did on Sunday, and they're very easy to do. This is called fried chicken salad.
Okay.
Fried chicken salad. Can you imagine making a fried chicken salad? But what I do is debone the chicken breast. They're already fried in the refrigerator all night long, and I just continue to remove the meat right off of the breast. I leave the skin on because a lot of the flavor from the fried chicken will remain in the salad. Yeah. And you can use, of course, any cut. This happens to be all breast meat, but of course the thighs or the wings or anything just makes a great fried chicken salad.
Around our house, the white meat goes first.
Well, then now you have a reason to keep the dark meat in the bowls overnight. So I debone it, and of course I can get rid of the bones, and I keep all the white meat of the chicken. And what I would like for you to do, if you would, I need your help.
You'll put me to work.
I need your help.
Okay.
I know you're a great chip maker, but I need would you dice these for me, and I'll quickly make a dressing here while you're doing that.
Thank you, yes.
What I'm doing with the dressing, I'm starting off with a little mayonnaise dressing, and I'm going to do with this, the fried chicken salad will almost be like a potato salad, believe it or not. I've taken about 2 cups of mayonnaise, and I've taken some boiled eggs. So I'm going to take the egg yolk, and let me put them right here. So how's that cube chicken coming?
You want them in big pieces or little pieces?
Hey,
look,
how am I
doing here? Is this just about right here?
Since I'm using your chips as the croutons on this salad, you just dictate the size of those things for us. I'm going to chop the yellow of the egg, or the yolk of the egg, and I'm going to put a little bit of this mayonnaise right down into it. I'm making a typical potato salad dressing, which I know all of you have had. This is typical of the potato salad of Louisiana. We always mix mayonnaise in with our egg yolks, and this is where the great yellow color comes from. Of course, we'll always add just a touch of yellow mustard, prepared mustard, to the dish to give it the tangy taste that we're looking for. Into the bowl, we'll put the egg yolk right down in there. Well, this looks good already.
Yeah,
now, don't you start eating my cold chicken breast.
I was just thinking maybe if you turn your back for a moment here, we could have quick lunch here.
Now I'm going to stir this around quickly, and I'll put this right on here where we can see it. Okay. How many flavors? I know you have a lot of flavors of potato chips, don't you?
We've got, of course, regular flavor, and we do a no salt. Of course, we cook in 100% peanut oil, so we don't have any cholesterol. So we have a no-salt potato chip. We have our Cajun, which is our Cajun.
Oh, that's
it's really become so very popular. We call them gator taters. We have Cajun dill, barbecue. So we have a little something for everybody's taste. And, of course, at Christmas time, we have a special when we come out, Zappe holidays. And Mardi Gras, we have Zappe Mardi Gras potato chips.
Did you ever make a chip? I know Cajuns like to experiment with everything. Did you ever make a chip with anything other than a potato?
Oh, gracious, yeah. We've had so much fun with this. We made sweet potato chips at one time, which we hope to get back into in the near future. We've tried turnip chips. Don't ever try to fry turnip chips. They just don't work out at all. But we've sliced and diced and fried up almost everything at one time or another. Yes.
I know you have, because I've seen a lot of different things. What I'm doing now, Ron, I've put the mayonnaise and a little bit of the prepared mustard. I put pickle relish into this. And now, of course, a little bit more of that color, because we always have to have color again. You notice that color.
I love red bell peppers. They're so good.
I'm going to put fresh green bell pepper into it, some fresh carrot and parsley for color. And then I'm going to season again with a little bit pepper, cracked black pepper. How's that chicken?
Oh, now you don't put too much of these spices in there because we got pretty spicy potato chips over
okay.
here.
Well,
Now.
hey, look, thanks for the warning. Thanks for the warning.
You better hurry. I'm going to eat all your chicken.
No,
up here.
you just take it easy on my chicken. Now what I'm going to do is get this nice bowl of lettuce. I've got a great old wooden bowl here, and I'm going to take the chopped chicken, and I've left the skin right on, so I'm going to put it right into the middle of this bowl. Why don't you get me that bag of chips over there
I'll be happy to
and
do that
open them
for you.
up for me. Look how nice it is.
Some of our finest here.
Some of your finest, and we put the fried chicken right on there, and then the dressing right on the potato salad dressing right onto the top of the fried chicken. This is cold fried chicken, skin on, very nice and spicy chicken. And then I'm going to put this down here. Again, I'm looking for some pretty color. Look how nice that is.
That really does.
Isn't that pretty?
Beautiful presentation.
And then
yes.
carrots, again, right on top. Now, what about some of those potato chips?
Once you grab some of the old bread there, here
We're
you go.
using this in the place of croutons.
Wow,
I'm going to
great
crush
idea.
the spiced potato chips right on top of the chicken salad, the fried chicken salad. And once it's all mixed together, naturally, you'll start to get the potato chip crunchiness with the skin of the chicken, which is also a little crunchy, and then the very delicate meat and lettuces of the chicken itself. Again, a little bit more color on top of it, a little bit green onions. We're always looking for that extra. Okay,
Beautiful.
so, hey, isn't that nice?
It's gorgeous. It really is.
As always, Ron, time flies. So
Time
we're
flies.
out of time, and I hope you enjoyed being here today.
I certainly did. I do appreciate it very much.
I know we
This is
enjoyed
always
having you.
fun. Well, I've got the one advantage. My place right across the river from this guy, and anytime I have a John attack, I can just slip right across the bridge and right
and I
there.
can do the same thing with chips. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed everything, but most of all, I hope you come back next time and visit as we continue to cook up another one of those great Taste of Louisiana. Get a bite of this.
Oh, let's get
a
some
bite of
farts
this,
in here. Let's just,
farts. Fart, right?
oh, there they are. Right.
Ah,
Oh,
get one of
gracious.
those.
Oh, okay.
Funding for this program was provided in part by Bruce Foods Corporation, makers of Bruce's Yams and other distinctive Louisiana-style food products. Additional funding is provided by the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. Anytime, any place. In Louisiana, we're really cooking.
The companion cookbook to A Taste of Louisiana is available for $22.95. The Evolution of Cajun and Creole Cuisine by Chef John Folse features recipes and food history behind Louisiana's cuisine. This 352-page cookbook contains over 250 recipes, including those from this show. To order, call 1-800-973-7246 or write to the address on your screen.